Good morning, everybody. This is Barbie, and welcome to Bell's Palsy Talk. We're going to be talking to Gladys today. She's going to be telling us about her journey with Bell's Palsy on things. Hey, Gladys, good morning. How are you doing?
Okay.
There we go. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? In the post, this is Gladys, everybody who's joining us today. She's had Bell's palsy for, I think you said 4 or 5 years now. And she's a mom and a wife and a mompreneur. And I'm just really excited to hear about your business and your blog as well, because that's what I do too. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Hi. So like she said, I'm Gladys. I'm from a small town in West Texas, and I'm a mother and wife. I have 2 little girls. And I actually got Bell's palsy after I had my first girl. And so she's 4, and I've had this now for almost 4.5 years. I do sugar cookies and wedding invitations. And I did have a blog. It's kind of on the back burner now because I got so busy with that and with the kids and everything. But I do love to post like fashion and motherhood and home things, just even on my Instagram.
Yeah, just things about yourself. I love it. I love your feed, and obviously you're very passionate about it because it looks, I do marketing and graphics in a career as well. So it's beautiful. Your branding is beautiful. I really admire it. It's really pretty. So everybody, you want to make sure you check out, I put the links to Gladys's business and everything in the post about our talk today. So make sure you check that out. Make sure we support each other. So you got Bell's palsy now after you had the baby or during your 3rd trimester?
So after, it was 4 days after I had her. And my mom has actually had this 3 times, but she healed every time. And so for me, when it happened, I don't think I took it as seriously because I was like, oh,
whatever, it'll be fine. Just give me a couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. I also, I wasn't able to take the steroids or as high.
Right.
Too,
because you were breastfeeding.
And that was one of the where it was like my baby or me. And, as a mother, I was just selfishly kind of thought, no, this will be fine. I need to her, even though either formula or nursing is great. So at the time,
everybody makes their own decisions, but that's definitely not selfish at all. Some people, I think, do take the medication as well, but I mean, like we said, teach their own, and you follow your own gut as a mother and, do the best you can. Yeah, because that's interesting. Usually people get it while they're pregnant, not so much after, but whatever. I guess there's no normal really, right? What's normal anyways? Okay, so so like you said, so your mom's had it a couple of times, so you kind of thought, oh, no big deal, we'll just get through it a couple of weeks. And then did you do any natural remedies or anything like that?
4 years of now, I'm seeing so much more. Obviously, your page has spread a lot of awareness, and I've seen so much on Instagram about Bell's palsy. But 4 years ago, it was nothing.
Yeah, nothing. There was nothing around.
There's a lot more nowadays, but back then, I just posted on Instagram or Facebook, has anybody had this? I had people say my daughter had this. Go to a chiropractor. Go to a puncturist, and so I was kind of just doing things as people would send me and be like, okay, well, let me go try that for a little bit. Let me go see this. So it's hard to know what really helped in healing or if any of it did at all. And it just, and so I did a lot of that, did physical therapy, did MRIs just to figure out if it was anything else going on. And I'm sure you've been through a lot of the same things. And there wasn't a clear path. Like when you break a leg, that's, you're going to do this, you're going to wear a cast for this long, and it's going to get better. It was all just.
Well, yeah, we were talking about that. I think it was with Dr. Mikhail last week or with Cheryl there's no clear path. And, it's the same, with healing. We were talking about grief and how it's not linear. Where exactly you go put a cast on an arm, really sucks for 6 to 8 weeks. You can't do anything. But you tough it out and then you're good to go. Whereas this, I was the same as you. I was 6 years ago, and I don't know. I mean, there may have been information back then, like on Facebook and stuff, but I don't think I thought to look there. I think that you just Google and you're Dr. Google, right? And same thing. Oh, my mom was like, oh, it sounds like it's only gonna be about 6 weeks. I'm like, oh, that sucks. That'll be a rough 6 weeks.
Right.
But I can do it. I can tough it out.
And then it gets scarier as time goes on. Oh no, it's 6 weeks. Here we are 4 months in and 6 months in. And then it's crazy to think wow, it's been 4 years now.
Yeah. I know time flies, right? But last year, I mean, 2021 in my mind doesn't even exist. Like when people talk about last year, is 2020 to me.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm the same. Like people will ask me, you know, what helped, what didn't help. Well, I tried like all the things, and I'm still trying things. You know, finding new resources. And I know you've been around and watched the talks and things like that with Jody from the Center for Facial Recovery, and had a meeting with her and all these things. You know, facial cupping. I'm like loving the facial cupping that we're learning, and I know, and I think it's working. And if not, at least you feel like you're doing something for yourself.
Yes.
Now I'm interested, and I like to talk to people on here about self-care, as you know. And do you think that at the time when you got the facial paralysis that you, obviously, yes, you were taking care of a baby. So yes, you were putting yourself second. But did you find in your life prior to getting the facial paralysis that you tend to be like a people pleaser and always doing everything for everyone else instead of focusing on yourself?
Yes. And I think I've always been that way. And just, you know, I have a hard time saying no, especially even, you know, in my personal life, in my business with, you know, I'll be full of cookies one weekend and one person comes to me, just please, can you take an order? And I'll do that and just say yes. And though it makes, you know, it adds more stress, adds more work and things like that. So that's something I'm always constantly trying to work on.
Yeah,
and
it's hard. Yeah.
When you become a mother, it just, you know, it's even worse because now you have littles to take care of. So you're even more on the back burner.
Yeah.
And, but it is when I did get Bell's palsy that first, after a couple of months when I was like, okay, I don't think this is going away fully. I did prioritize myself and I started working out. And that year I actually got in like the best shape that I've ever been in, because I started taking, like, my mom would come over every morning and I would go have an hour at the gym and just even self-care for me. And it was kind of a thing, like, I'm not going to have control over my face. And so if I'm not going to have control over that, I am going to have control over my body.
Yeah, so, what can you control feeling good about? We talked about that a couple weeks ago as well. Like I posted, so I'm obsessed with Suits, like the show. I mean,
I've never
who doesn't? Oh, it's great. So in the show, one of the characters is, you know, she talks about, you know, if you can't, I can't remember exactly what the quote was quoted. If you can't succeed in one arena, then, you know, focus in on another one. And that's just what you're saying, where you're like, okay, well, I can't do anything about this, so let's have an accomplishment in another area. Yeah. And I think that is something that I'm definitely learning about, is a huge self-care, is that internal, you know, yay me, like I did something. And then you're able to put your focus more on that, as opposed to, you know, anything negative going on in your life. And I really, you know, I'm really enjoying that as well. Like I'm making my health a priority right now too. I, you know, was married, and, you know, I'm married again, but I, you know, left the marriage. And then in between, you kind of have this, you know, the in-between place. And yeah, I started taking really good care of my body, and then realized like, oh, this is great. Like I really love putting myself first in that way. And then of course, COVID hit, and I, you know, just, and I'm back at it, and it feels great. Yeah. Just to have that time to focus on something, being like, hey, I can do this. Like, it's not just about things that are stressful in your life. Yeah.
And then it helps with the confidence part, obviously, because Bell's palsy takes that away so much. So then whenever you do focus on something else, and again, it's not all physical, obviously the inside has to be pretty too, but whenever you feel good and, you know, you look better, whatever, it helps with the confidence that your face takes away.
Totally. And I, you know, and you know, you are right. Like, of course it's, oh, the inside matters to you. Like, but in our, in our society and the way that we present yourself, especially when the face situation has been taken away. I like how you put that, where it is a looks thing, you know, if we lived in a society where, you know, our outer beauty wasn't as important, maybe it wouldn't bother us as much, but it's our face. It literally is the first thing people see. So yeah, I mean, it's tough. And I like how you put that, you know, that the rest of your body can be you know, you can feel proud and like feel confident, you know, in that way. It's Me Journalist asks, are you afraid it will happen again? I would say so. Of course. I think that for me, and I don't know about you, Gladys, but for me, it kind of makes things real. Like, you know what, things can happen to you, you know? And I think
I tell my husband a lot, you know, whenever we're seeing things, or if, you know, if he gets worried about something and it's, you know, health wise or something, and it's only like, oh, only 5% of people, that'll happen to only 5% of people. And I always tell him, I no longer think like, no, there's no way that can't be me. Cause I'm like, it has to be somebody. And with this Bell's palsy situation, it was me. I was part of the
Right.
So, you know, and again, I am scared that sometimes it will happen again, especially after my second baby. I was really worried about that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And even now, you know, I've been looking into getting the surgery done. And again, I'm like, I don't know if I should get it done before I decide if I'm done with babies, or if I should wait.
Oh yeah, good point. Right.
It may re-trigger it and, you know, undo what was done. I don't know. That's something I have to about.
So confusing. Yeah, for sure. And those are all the things, and it's your face. You know, when I first got it too, I looked into the surgery options, and, you know, back then there wasn't my mom actually saw someone on Oprah, and, you know, I kind of looked into, super random, because she doesn't really watch TV, so I don't know where she found it. But yeah, I looked into it, and yeah, it's a big decision because it's your face, and of course surgery could go either way and all those things. Right. So, you know, I definitely understand that. But yeah, I would say for sure, make sure you're done with babies first, just in case, because that'll be really stressful. Yusanita said that she left a relationship after her Ramsey hunt. So my question to you, Yusanita, is, did you find yourself in a situation where you weren't using your voice and standing up for yourself, even in small ways, in that relationship? That would be interesting to me, that you were just kind of like, oh, there's no point in speaking up, it doesn't really matter. Anyways, that was something that I'd be really interested in hearing from you about, if you put in the comments. Mel asked, Gladys, are you doing anything, treatments, etc., currently to work on your process? Are you doing anything right now?
So I did take a break after about 1.5 years of doing straight, like I said, acupuncture, chiropractor, physical therapy, all kinds of things.
All the things, yeah. Sign me up.
Yeah. Excuse me. Once COVID hit, you know, I started looking into visiting doctors and things, but obviously the world shut down and you couldn't really do much. And so this year I kind of made it a priority to like get back on it, and like, you know, obviously it's here to stay. So now let's look at ways to, like, you know, so just to better how I am, because obviously it's not going to go away. And so,
well, and making yourself feel like you're taking care of yourself, whether it is a big solution or not. You know, my husband the other night, I'm doing the facial cupping now, and excuse me, I love it. Like, it feels good, but then also it's like, oh, you can use it for dark circles, you can use it for wrinkles, you can use it for, like, I have like thinning hair here, like, I'm like, he's like, are you gonna cup everything? I'm like, yes, I am. But he said, you know, it's just nice for you to be working on your face again, just
and not
to be taking care of it. Yeah.
And yeah, my mom's very encouraging too, and like not letting me just, you know, just let it go. She's, you know, even massaging or doing things like that. But I did go to, I live in Texas, and so I did go see Dr. Aaron Smith at the Buckingham Center in Austin. And so I did do Botox 2 weeks ago, and I'm going back Monday for like the touch up and then she's kind of going to see where she can touch up or where it worked, where she thinks it can improve. And I think that's actually helped tremendously. And, you know, especially people that see me or like my family and things, they can really tell my eye is a lot more open now, especially like when I smile. It used to just shut completely, and then my smile's a little bit more open. And so just those little things just help me feel, you know, for other people, I've never had this. It's probably something so small for them.
Yeah.
But for your little tooth to show just a tiny bit.
Yeah, totally. You're like, oh, there it is. Hey, little guy.
Yeah. And so
I'm going to go in actually for Botox. I think it's next week or the week after. I did it a couple times, same thing, 3 or 4 years ago, and I got it around my eye mostly, and a little bit, I think they put it in here, and yeah, it did help quite a bit. And then I wanted to do some physical therapy, and she's like, well, the Botox needs to wear off first, because you know, because of that. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to do that in a couple weeks. I was thinking I'll do a video kind of update, you know, for people as well, just so people kind of see.
Yeah, and I got it done all over, even my neck, down here, under my eyes, my nose, and she would do it like even on the opposite side.
Yeah, weird places that you don't expect.
And it actually didn't hurt at all, like I thought it would. And so that's kind of where I'm in the process of doing the Botox and then looking into that selective neurolysis surgery. So kind of where I'm at now. And
well, make sure you keep us posted on that. Just, I think that a lot of people are just interested in the information. You know, because you guys down there, like, so I'm in Canada, and down in the States, there's a lot more options for things like that. You know, when I looked into surgery, I'd have to go down, I think it was in LA or something, I'd have to go down and do that. But if people are interested in it, at least there's more information, you know.
Into the one in LA 2 or 3 years ago, but that one was, I mean, it was just very, very expensive. And
It's just not, it's for the normal person, it's not even an option. Especially with kids and stuff, you're like, how can I spend that much money? And it might not even work. So,
exactly.
You know, that's the thing, right?
It was nice because this doctor has actually worked with the doctor in Beverly Hills, and so she's, you know, very specially trained in that, and it was a lot more affordable, that's for sure. So it's kind of now something that, I actually can look into.
Like, I can take the next step and not just think, okay, that's pointless. Because that's what I thought too, you know, at the time. You're like, okay, well, you really wrestle with, okay, well, this is important to me. Okay, I do need to make myself a priority, but that's still, like, that's a lot of money when you have kids. And, you know, so there is that middle ground of, you know, yes, you're allowed to be selfish. It's your face and all those things. But then you're like, well, how selfish? You know, like, you know. So,
exactly.
And, you know, and you're like me, you're functioning in life. It's not like it's detrimental to your life, you know, whereas a lot of people who don't recover at all, I mean, different boat. If you're one of those people, then, you know, then obviously everybody does what works for them. Mel, yes, I will post the updates on the Botox, because, you know, we just want all the options for people. And like Gladys said, like, Botox isn't like a major thing. Like, it's not like they do a big, they're little tiny needles, and it's quite affordable. It's not, you know, I mean, obviously everybody's finances are different, but it's not thousands of dollars, and it also runs out. So, you know, if you get it, you can do a little bit at a time. So you can go in, do a little bit, and go and do a little bit more if you're nervous. And the doctor, I mean, there's a fairly low risk of it doing any damage, right? Like, it's not going to hurt your face again, is it? Like they said. So, and you feel the needles are tiny. So I was really happy with the results so far. And with that doctor, it was nice to go to a doctor that was very, like, knowledgeable about it. And, you know, she could tell me, like, oh, you still have movement here, or you'd be a good surgery. I think for a long time it was very like, well, maybe this will work, and if not, we'll refer you to somebody else. And it was just like a never ending chain of who knows, give it a shot. Which, you know, we've talked about before on this, you know, when people have, especially GPs and general doctors, I mean, they're of course going to spend their days, you know, if they're going to go spend a day, you know, getting an update in education, they're going to spend it on something that involves a higher percentage of their patients, you know, cancer and things like, totally understood. But it is very frustrating for us when we go in and they're like, I don't know, give this a shot. And so that's why I like these communities, because now somebody can be like, oh, well, maybe I will check into it, you know. And obviously, you know, I like to mention, you guys all know, not a doctor. We're just talking about our own personal experiences. Make sure you do your own research. So Mel said she had surgery done in LA and has an amazing doctor who accepts insurance and specializes in facial palsy recognition. Yeah, Mel, if you can DM me that information, that would be great. I'll definitely post that on the thing for people to check into. Because I know down in the state, you guys do have a lot more options, but obviously insurance is an issue for you guys. Although actually in Canada it is too, because it wouldn't be covered by our government or anything, which makes sense. Celia, if that's how I pronounce it. Yeah, the treatment for synkinesis, I do, because you have synkinesis too, right, Gladys? Yeah. So the Botox helps with that because it calms that activity down. So like, I have synkinesis in my mouth, my eye gets very active when I talk, and then the Botox calms that down. So that is a treatment for synkinesis to help. And then also Jody from the Center for Facial Recovery, I see her virtually, has given me some exercises for synkinesis as well. So those are resources. Those are resources for people. No, Celia, it goes around your eye. So it goes like, they put it like kind of in these little tiny muscles here. not in your eye. Yeah, that probably, that would hurt. That would hurt a lot. So, yeah, so how you're moving forward in life, doing all this research for yourself and taking self-care and being back in the gym, and that's awesome. And I love having people like yourself on. You have such a positive attitude towards life. You know, it's not all sunshine and rainbows all the time, but you know, we do the best we can, especially with kids. You know, being a mom to young moms or to young kids, it's a lot. So you know, I just like to say, you know, go easy on yourself. My boys are 16 and 14 now, so of course it's different kind of stresses, them being out and not knowing where they are and what they're doing. But when you have littles on you all the time, it's very important to make sure you take care of yourself as well. So what we'll do, because there's another Gladys on here too, what we'll do is I will post our talk here. It will be on the IGTV. Later, what I do is I post our talk and I will post all the links. So if anybody's brought anything up in this talk, please send me a DM. And Gladys will send me the DMs again of those doctors that she talked to in Texas. And we'll put those links there and you guys can all check them out for yourself. Celia, yeah, I was thinking about maybe I can do a live while I'm doing the exercises. I mean, everybody's different and unique, of course, but I can show you what I'm doing and maybe that'll work for you too. Sure. Really? Yeah, anyways, I'm so happy to talk to you. I just like to chat with people who have experiences and we're all in this together and we just focus on doing the best we can and support each other. So you have a wonderful day. Again, I'll post all the links that anybody sends me. We'll post them and I'll post the handle for Gladys's wonderful business as well, because you're doing great. Awesome. And so nice to talk to you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, you betcha. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Impossible. That's never going to come true. Well, now I think what COVID is let us know, it doesn't matter where you are all in the globe. We are all facing the same things, whether you're white, brown, rich, poor, Bell's palsy, no Bell's palsy, experience. Yeah. Our experiences are all universal. And that's a really beautiful reminder for us to know we're not alone. Mm-hmm. We're alone. Even if you feel that you are, you're not. So getting that support is absolutely critical.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for sharing. Everything has resonated with me so much. And I think that, you know, that is the time, of course, when we're open, that these connections come, you know, when you're ready to hear them or make the connection of something that you're going through in your life with something that comes in, even if it's not very obvious, you know, right at first. And I think in our connection, when we were chatting, I think at first we were kind of like, oh, Bell's palsy, like grief, like, but it makes sense. And there's a reason why, you know, why we do this. And so I think that there's a lot of stuff that we covered that I want to, you know, dig into and bring more to the followers in this community, all those little pieces. Me being able to kind of speak to things more. Now, if somebody wants to work with you more, what's your website? I'll put your contact information, of course, in the bottom, but you're a coach as well. So how do people get a hold of you if they want to work with you and get more information about this?
I serve as a licensed psychologist, and I only work with clients that were housed in Tennessee. So. Okay. Tennessee, and you want to get some input and some resources pertaining to grief and loss, you're welcome to head over to my Instagram page, which is at Dr. Mekel, DrMekel, and get some free things. There's also some courses that you can purchase to sort of help you begin to reimagine your life after loss. And of course, you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. I actually love this. This is where Kiri and I have connected. And it's just been a jewel to sort of have a live contact with someone through my direct messaging. So you're always
Isn't it so fabulous? I've made some amazing friends, and it's just been like mind-blowing to me about how wonderful these platforms are. Thank you so much for joining me here. Let's be in touch, because I have so much more to learn from you, and I know everybody here else does. You have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you so much. That was great.